Hello and welcome to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In today's video, I will be talking about the significant severe weather threat as we head into much of next week. Also, a potential for a significant snowstorm here across the northwestern flank of the storm system here as we head into next week as well. The Day 2 categorical outlook here from the Storm Prediction Center has a marginal risk of severe weather across central and southern portions here of Missouri, getting back into northeastern portions here of Oklahoma, southeastern Kansas, northwestern portions here of Arkansas, with isolated elevated thunderstorms here with kind of a loosely organized MCS or mesoscale convective system here developing across the central plains and propagating eastward here as we head into our Sunday night into Monday morning here, kind of on the northern fringe here of the warm air advection here regime as we head into Sunday night into Monday morning. Now, looking at this here with the composite reflectivity here, you can see all is quiet across the zone here of the marginal risk as we head into our Sunday night. Then here, as we head into Sunday evening here, a couple thunderstorms start erupting here across central and southeastern portions here of Kansas, north central and northeastern portions here of Oklahoma. And this here is the start of what could be here kind of a loosely organized mesoscale convective system. Now, models differ here on a little bit on the placement of this here, whether it'll be farther south into northern Arkansas or farther north here to the Arkansas border with Missouri or into southern Missouri. But generally here, this is the NAM model. Short-term guidance does show this here pushing across that marginal risk zone with some isolated severe weather potentially with gusts up to 60 miles per hour and potentially here some hailers as well with here hail up to the size of quarters here and some heavy rain, some frequent lightning here as well, and cannot rule out a potential for an isolated tornado with that threat as well here into Missouri. Now, why is this occurring? Dew points will be rising here into the lower 60s across the southern Great Plains, but into the Ozarks here where this threat is of marginal risk for severe weather, dew points will be rising into the middle and upper 50s with a sharp contrast to the northwest, and that'll kind of create here a little bit of a battle zone in between there, and kind of here a lot of lift will be going on in the atmosphere, hence the reason why there is a chance for some stronger thunderstorms. Now, looking at the here CAPE values or the instability in the atmosphere, some decent values here, some low to moderate values of CAPE here across southern and central portions of Missouri, a lot higher values in Oklahoma, but there will be a cap. The farther south and west you go here, there will be a cap on the atmosphere prohibiting thunderstorms from developing here. So we'll have to see how that works out as we head closer to the event here as we head into tomorrow night. There is enough shear kind of slightly overlapping here, this marginal risk zone across south central portions here of Missouri, getting back to northeastern portions here of Oklahoma, and that may be enough to kind of lift that lid off the atmosphere. Other models such as the GFS and a couple other of the ensembles have shown this here, a cap on the atmosphere holding strong in these areas with not much thunderstorm activity here, and if that does occur here, then that marginal risk will not verify. But however, other models are showing this here, the severe weather here and just thunderstorms and strong thunderstorms in general starting to develop here in northeastern Oklahoma, propagating east and northeastward into south central portions of Missouri, ending up around the St. Louis area here as we head into Monday morning. Then as we head into Monday here, this is the start of our multi-day severe weather outbreak. I'm going to go into this with detail a little bit here in this video, so do bear with me as I will be going through all of the parameters in place here Monday through Wednesday regards with the severe weather outbreak here across the middle of the country. Now, this is the Day 3 categorical outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, has a marginal risk of severe weather all the way up here into southern Illinois, southwestern portions here of Indiana, getting into western Kentucky, western Tennessee. This does include Memphis, getting up towards Paducah, potentially Evansville, or I think Evansville here is in that area. I may be mistaken. Mount Vernon, Illinois, getting down towards St. Louis, and then a slight risk here across portions of northeast Texas, much of central and western portions here of Arkansas, east central portions here of Oklahoma, and southern Missouri. This does include here Little Rock, Conway, Fort Smith, getting down toward the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, Texarkana, and areas south and eastward from Tulsa and the Oklahoma City Metroplex there. Now, why is this occurring? We do have a lot of warm air starting to surge northward here. This is kind of the first trigger, if you will, here as a short wave will start to pursue the southern plains here across Texas here as we head into late Monday. And the short wave here with a subtropical jet will kind of feed into this atmosphere and produce a little bit of a volatile situation here across those zones. There is a hatched risk in that slight risk zone that I did show you for large hail that could be 2 inches or larger in diameter here in much of that slight risk zone from Dallas-Fort Worth getting up to Little Rock, so do have to be careful there. But these are the temperature profiles, kind of seeing a little bit of a front here developing around north central Texas, and that will be the focal point for some severe weather as we head into Monday. Now here, as this front kind of drags to the south a little bit here with the kind of some cold pool aloft here with these storms that start to develop here and move to the east-northeast, a lot of that warm air will start to suppress farther south here into portions of Texas. Now, as you see ahead of this feature here, ahead of the short wave here as it pushes in on Monday, a lot of warm, moist air will be here lifting up into the Mississippi Delta region, into the portions of the southern plains, and into the Dixie Alley region. Dew points rising in the low, middle 60s, even close to 70 down here toward the Houston area, getting down here towards portions of, the Mexican border. And then up to the north here, you can see dew points rising around Little Rock to around mid-60s, and then dropping off quickly into the mid-40s and low 40s and 30s here to the north and west. And that here in that zone will be producing a focal point for that here severe weather just south of that boundary here as we head into Arkansas, into northeast Texas as we head into Monday evening. Now, this will be more of an overnight threat, so I am concerned about a few tornadoes here. We do have Cape values that are here moderate to high in spots here. We have values around the Dallas-Fort Worth area getting up towards just south of Little Rock here in the southern and central portions here of Arkansas, approaching 3,000 to 3,500 joules per kilogram, and that is quite a bit of instability here. And when you have a little bit of a cap on the atmosphere here, especially as you get into northeast Texas. Now, this cap is expected to break as we head later in the day here, as we have strong shear values pushing in, especially on the northern fringe, overlapping here in the Arkansas region. A little less shear here down into northeast Texas, so that cap may hold stronger here with the shear values a little weaker. Not much kind of lift going in to get that cap to kind of break. But into Arkansas, I am more confident that severe weather here will be possible here as we head into Monday along that slight risk zone. Back into Texas, a little less confident, but that risk is there. So if that cap does break, we will be seeing some severe weather down toward the Dallas-Fort Worth area, up toward Texarkana here, around the Shreveport area here as well. And you can see the supercell composite here. So whether or not the cap breaks, there will be enough values to support supercell thunderstorms across south central portions of Arkansas, northwestern portions of Mississippi, western Tennessee, getting back into northeastern Texas, including the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Texarkana, Little Rock, portions around Shreveport here, and getting up toward Memphis here on our Monday evening. The significant tornado parameter, there are some values, and like I said, where all those overlap into portions here of Arkansas, that is where your highest values will be centered here around the Little Rock area, down over toward Memphis, trying to nose its way down toward Shreveport, but then the values fall off here into portions of northeast Texas where that cap just holds stronger. At least that's what the model here, the NAM, is showing at this very moment in time. Now let's look at this with the composite reflectivity here. I know it's a lot to look at, and you can see there is a little bit of a front that tries to sag south and east here, and that'll be the focal point here of some showers and storms as we head into Monday. Now, as you see with this model, this not showing a lot of your development, and that is just due to that cap that is in place here on Monday and Monday evening, and then kind of an unfavorable timing too for severe weather. So I do not expect here this to be a significant day for severe weather in regards to severe weather coverage, but the intensity of the storms, if they do develop, could be pretty intense here with, like I said, a hatched large hail risk of very large hail of 2 inches or larger in diameter. A tornado or two cannot be ruled out, and the potential here of maybe even a stronger tornado across the Arkansas, western Tennessee regions if that cap can break very quickly here as we head into Monday evening. So we'll be keeping an eye on that, and storms will be moving out. Now, as we head into Tuesday, this is the Storm Prediction Center's Day 4 severe weather outlook, and it shows a much broader location here for severe weather, a 15% or slight risk here from the same areas generally here as Monday, into portions of the southern portions of this outlook here across east central and northeast Texas, much of Arkansas, northwestern portions here, Louisiana, getting up into much of here Iowa and Missouri, eastern portions of Kansas, east central portions here of Oklahoma, and then a 30% or enhanced risk has been upgraded here for portions of northwestern and western portions here of Missouri, getting down into eastern Kansas and central and eastern portions here of Oklahoma. This does include the Kansas City metro area, getting down here towards just west of Joplin, down toward Wichita, getting down towards Tulsa here, maybe near the Oklahoma City area, nosing its way closer to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We'll see if this expands farther south or not here in coming days. And then as we head into Wednesday, now this is the day here that I've been watching for the past few days, and this looks to be the most significant as we have that trough ejecting into the middle of the country here with a stronger cyclone here, cyclogenesis of a low pressure system here somewhere in the upper Midwest. And the Storm Prediction Center has confidently put a slight risk of severe weather as far north here as La Crosse, Wisconsin, up near the Wisconsin Dells, getting back toward Des Moines, Iowa, the Quad Cities here, down toward Peoria, Illinois, getting down towards Quincy, Illinois, and St. Louis, maybe even over towards Nashville with time here, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, down towards just north of New Orleans. And then an enhanced risk or 30% risk here has been upgraded into much of Arkansas, north central portions of Louisiana, northeast Texas, northwestern and western Mississippi, and far western Tennessee, also far southern Missouri as well. This does include Little Rock, Conway, Fort Smith, getting down towards Shreveport, Texarkana, and into portions near the Jackson, Mississippi area, Memphis. All these cities here are in play with this outlook here as we head into our Wednesday. Now, I do expect this outlook to be changing here in the next couple of days as more model data does come in. And I am expecting this Storm Prediction Center to potentially upgrade here further north, as they may be pulling this 30% or enhanced risk further north with what I'm seeing right now. There may be an enhanced risk here as far north potentially as west central Illinois, southeastern Iowa here with time as we head here into our Wednesday. We'll see how that works out as it gets closer. Now let's look at it here with the vorticity. You can see a little bit here of a trough trying to develop here across the western United States, down toward the Four Corners region, with broad southwesterlies here to the east with a big ridge, and that's where the big warm-up is going to here send a lot of people here into the 60s, a lot of 70s, maybe even some 80s farther south, and a lot of colder air here being trapped up into the Pacific Northwest, Intermountain West, and that's where that snowstorm will come into play. I'll get to that here in just a moment. But then you see here as we head toward early Wednesday morning and around midday, that trough starts to eject in toward the middle of the country. And as it does so, a very strong and powerful low pressure system is expected to develop here in most of these models. And that here is expected to develop and push generally from north central Kansas towards northwest Iowa and portions of central Minnesota here with time. And here that vorticity signature gets pretty intense and swings up toward the Great Lakes region as we head toward Thursday. Potentially another severe weather day on Thursday. The Storm Prediction Center has not confidently put a 15% risk on that here quite yet, but we'll see here in the coming days if that does here remain the case. Now, looking as we head into our Tuesday, this is our, Monday night into Tuesday morning. Dew points will be surging ahead of that trough, and you can see dew points much of Arkansas, Oklahoma, east central Texas, over towards, Mississippi, Louisiana, western Tennessee. A lot of dew points in the 60s, maybe even some upper 60s mixed in. Dew points could be rising near 60 as far north as southern Missouri, southern and southeastern portions of Kansas, and getting down into southern Illinois around the Paducah area. And that here will only continue to surge northward as we have that trough that will be ejecting farther to the north and east, and dew points could rise to the low, even mid 60s as far north here as central portions of Illinois, southern Iowa, most of the deep south here now engulfed in that 60-degree dew point type air mass, and that will lead to some severe weather like I showed you in the outlooks previously. Now, as we head into Tuesday morning, this is where the low is going to be developing, kind of on the lee side of the Rockies as a 986 or so millibar low, and this will continue to kind of eject with that trough. And you can see on Tuesday evening, severe thunderstorms developing across portions of western Missouri around the Kansas City area, getting down here towards just potentially over or just east of the Tulsa and Oklahoma City metro areas, getting down towards Dallas, just east or over the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex, and portions to the east. Little Rock getting in on the action here shortly. It was Shreveport as well. And these storms will continue to rumble to the east here as they get into portions of western Tennessee into the overnight hours before they do fall apart as well, with an isolated severe threat potentially getting into middle Tennessee, maybe west central portions of Kentucky and portions of the Dixie Alley region. Now, looking at this with the bulk shear here on Tuesday, some values getting here caught up here, especially as you get into Kansas, down here into portions of Oklahoma, and that will kind of overlap to have a few tornado potential. We could have a few tornadoes here Tuesday, especially Tuesday evening as that low-level jet strengthens here, pulling up all that Gulf moisture here as the western Gulf is open. Also, all that instability here will be building with these dew points. Now, as we head into Wednesday, this is what I've been saying here all along, the most concerning day for me at least. Low to mid-60 dew points being advected here northward with time. And these will only continue to advect north. We could have 60-degree dew points up near the Wisconsin Dells, La Crosse, Wisconsin, down towards Dubuque, Iowa. We could have a surge of moisture up to central Wisconsin with the warm sector reaching central and northern Wisconsin on this model here, on the Europeans model. Very reliable model. But then here on the backside, look at how quickly those dew points drop off. I mean, Little Rock could have a dew point in the mid-60s here. In a couple hours west drive, you could be in dew points in the teens and 20s. So, I mean, this is a powerful storm system, and this is concerning for severe weather. Now, as we head into Wednesday, early morning, some ongoing isolated severe weather may be ongoing here with some just general thunderstorm, garden variety showers and storms here across southern and central Illinois, especially getting down toward the Kentucky region, the foothills here of Missouri, western and middle Tennessee, eastern portions here of Arkansas. But as the day goes on, we'll destabilize the atmosphere. We'll hear those instability values be rising. We'll get that strong low and mid-level jet to start punching into these storms here from the south and west. A lot of rotation in the atmosphere. And we have a 987 millibar lower thereabout here across north central Iowa and southern portions of Minnesota. And the high resolution model from last night's guidance here from the European shows by late Wednesday afternoon a significant broken line, or QLCS, will develop from central and western Iowa down through central and northwestern portions of Missouri, tailing its way down here through the deep south across Arkansas into Louisiana, and even as far south here as the Gulf of Mexico. So we literally could have severe weather developing Wednesday afternoon and going through the evening from portions of Iowa over toward Wisconsin all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico here with some widespread severe weather potential. We'll see how that works out. Now, as this line progresses and moves toward the evening hours toward the Mississippi River Valley, we're going to see some pretty explosive storms. I mean, this model is here a higher resolution model, and this is a global model, and it's showing the potential for several supercell thunderstorms along this as a QLCS line or squall line starts to push to the east. We could have embedded gusts of 70-plus mile-an-hour winds across some of this line here. Also, several tornadoes are possible. A strong tornado or two is possible as well. Also, some large to very large hail of ping pong ball, golf ball size hail or larger, especially with southward extent, as here the instability values will be growing. And this line will continue to push off to the here east as we head toward the Chicagoland area, up toward Milwaukee, Wisconsin, down toward Indianapolis, Nashville, getting down towards Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, and portions near Mobile, Alabama with time as we head into the overnight hours on Wednesday, with a continued severe weather threat toward the Michigan area here as well. This will only continue to push east before weakening a little bit, but still look at that comic U shape, even on the high resolution model here, the European, a very potent, very powerful low pressure system, northwest Minnesota of a 976 millibar low. So this low does mean business. And look at that wind shear here rounding the base of that trough and almost here like a snakehead type of look to it, with a here broad westerlies and southwesterlies here across the southern Great Plains, but then it really wraps around, kind of takes a negative tilt here as we head into Wednesday evening, and that's concerning. Usually negative tilt troughs here do support severe weather and potentially sometimes even widespread and intense severe weather as well. We'll have to watch that here. I'm very concerned about this Missouri, Arkansas, into maybe western Illinois region here as we head through the Wednesday time, just looking at this model. And then here, this wind shear will continue to push off quickly to the east here, and a lot of wind shear still being present with this storm system. Now, the Weather Prediction Center, the next 120 hours here, precipitation accumulation. You can see this ends in the on Thursday, April 14th here at 8 in the morning Eastern Daylight Time, and you can see a significant swath of rainfall across here in the Mississippi Valley region, from the mid-Mississippi Valley down through the lower Missouri Valley, the Tennessee and Ohio valleys, getting down through Dixie Alley. We could have additional rainfall amounts of 1 to 3+ inches across this zone, and then here's some precipitation on the northern end with that snowfall here as well. Now, looking at that, the reason why here we are having the Weather Prediction Center has highlighted the day 3 excessive rainfall outlook as marginal across this area of 5 to 10% chance here of flash flooding is indicative of the heavy rainfall with all that moisture content in the atmosphere, and that is centered across portions of southern Illinois, southern Indiana, western portions here of Kentucky, getting back into north central Arkansas, southern and southeastern portions here of Missouri. And then let's look at the snowfall side of this here. There is a snowfall side, and there is a significant snowstorm that is looming here as well across the northern plains. So let's look at that. You can see here some snowfall breaking out around Tuesday evening here across portions of your, North Dakota, especially western North Dakota, getting into northwestern portions here, South Dakota, much of Montana. This storm, as it deepens, will continue to deepen with that snowfall. We could have snowfall rates of 1 to 2 plus inches per hour across this zone here. And then as this low gets tightly wound, we're going to have a very strong here isobars. Look how close they do get, and we'll have a lot of wind with this, and this gets really tightly wound. Now, some models have the storm system with the snowfall a little farther northwest here with this snower band, the heavier snow bands in the Canadian provinces. Other models have them down into North Dakota, back toward Montana, Wyoming, and South Dakota here as well. We'll have to see how that works in latest runs. But that low just continues to spin up there very strong. Look how close these isobars get, and that is concerning for a blizzard-like conditions, especially I'm concerned about North Dakota into South Dakota, back toward eastern Montana for some very intense wind gusts here. We could have wind gusts here as we head into Thursday afternoon with that snow whipping around with that system with 1 to 2 inch snowfall, 1 to 2 inch per hour snowfall rates, coupled with wind gusts that could be in excess of 50 miles per hour with this storm system, and that could create some blizzard conditions. I do expect potentially some winter storm warnings, even some blizzard warning criteria here to be up near these areas as well, with that wind starting to ease as that storm system pushes off here to the east. Now, looking at the high resolution forecast model for the European, does show some here pretty impressive snowfall amounts here across North Dakota, getting back into Montana, far northern portions of South Dakota, even west central portions and northwestern portions here of Minnesota toward the Minneapolis-St. Paul region. This model showing here a foot or more of snow across mostly the whole state of North Dakota, getting back here into eastern Montana as well. Now, this is the GFS's run from this morning, kind of showing the same theme. The most snowfall of a foot or more across North Dakota, inching its way back here towards Montana. And even some snowfall across north and central portions here of Minnesota of a couple inches there. And then the Canadian model is still showing the GDPS. One of the Canadian models is showing here a very intense snowstorm still, potentially up to around 2 feet of snow or more here across portions of eastern North Dakota, getting into far northwestern and northern portions of Minnesota, with more snow here down even into portions here of South Dakota and in Wyoming as well, and even has some snow down on the backside wrapping around with a strong low pressure here down into northwestern Iowa. So you could have severe weather early in the day. A couple days later could have a couple inches of snow here, at least on this model. And then here the another model we look at is the UK Met. This is also here another model that came in last night as well, and still shows that snowfall across North Dakota inching its way back here towards Montana, but nothing really for South Dakota or much of anything for here Nebraska, Iowa, or Minnesota here as well. So still some differences with the models here. We'll have to fine tune this as it gets closer, but it does look, I do feel confident that North Dakota back into portions of Montana will see the most significant snow here out of this system. Now, as we look ahead, this is a 6 to 10 day Climate Prediction Center's outlook here. Much below average temperatures are likely or even expected across the northern plains with this system as we head toward midweek, with that massive trough in the jet stream. And then here that ridge will continue to push east here with above average temperatures across the eastern seaboard. And that will be supported with some above average rainfall across the Tennessee, Ohio valleys, the mid-Atlantic, getting up toward the northeast as well. Drier than normal conditions around the western half of the country, especially across portions here of the Four Corners region and in the southwest as well. As we head further into the month of April, that trough will continue to push east, but another ridge will be reestablishing itself across the southwest and the western states around California with above average temperatures, but here below average to much below average temperatures, especially centered on the northern plains, the upper Midwest, and the Great Lakes region here as we head towards the 22nd of the month here. This goes through Friday, April 22nd here, getting towards the last week or two here of the month. And this is also supported by here, drier than normal conditions across much of the western 2/3 of the country, with the eastern half or quarter of the country here within here, a slightly above to above average here precipitation here on the Climate Prediction Center's model. Now, this is important here as you look at the drought monitor here as we head into later this month, as we're getting closer to the planting season across here in much of the country here, and we're getting closer to the warmer months as well. So a lot of the soil evaporation here rate will start to increase with the warmer temperatures. You're already seeing some significant drought here down into Texas, getting into the Four Corners region, and across much of the western part of the country. The drought has gotten a little bit better here across California, but still has a long way to go here, and I am expecting more rainfall with that trough here as we head into portions of California, maybe some upper elevation snow in the Rockies to help out relieve that drought just a little bit here as we head into the coming week or so. So thank you for watching. I know it was a long video here, but I did want to go through here step by step all of the ingredients and parameters here for the storm system coming up on the stormy side of it with the severe weather, and also on the wintry side here with the snowstorm potential as well. Do be sure to like my video here and leave any questions in the comments below, and do remember to subscribe to my channel for further weather related content later this week concerning the snowstorm and also the widespread severe weather outbreak potential here as well. So thank you for watching, everyone, and have a great day.